Good evening, everybody. Touch the leg. So, thank you so much for attending the Dharma class. So, we everybody have been studying Dharma for quite long times. So, make sure you are bit different Buddhist than the Buddhists who don't study much. Even though you study for long time, many times, from many master, if you cannot see your daily way of thinking, your daily actions, your daily activities, not much different than the Buddhist people who don't study, then you really haven't got anything from your study of Dharma, attending different classes, different teaching. Therefore, make sure every time you should not compare, I'm better than the person, that person. You should think my way of thinking, my daily activities, my mentality is much better than the Buddhist people who don't study. Second, as a Buddhist, we believe next life, previous life, karma, Buddhahood, liberation. We have so many belief systems. If you cannot see, you are not much different than the people who don't believe in religion. Then again, you haven't got anything based on believing Buddha Dharma. Make sure you are a bit different than the people who believe in religion. You are much happier person than the people who don't believe in religion. So your way of thinking much better than the people who don't believe in religion. Within the belief in Buddhism, your way of thinking is much superior than the people who don't study. Make sure you may have this kind of attitudes. Second, I always, urge all of you, so before we practice, before we meditate, we must learn how to practice, how to do meditation, how to overcome from suffering, how to cut the road of samsara. Therefore, studying is very important. If you only emphasize studying about Buddhism, if you only emphasize how I can have a better knowledge about Buddhism, then you just increase your ego, your pride, your jealousy, your anger. Because when you see your education of Buddhism is a bit better than other, then it increase your anger, ego and pride. Sometimes when you see other people has a better Buddhist knowledge than yourself, then you have a sense of jealous, sense of anger. If you have this kind of mentality, that means you are look like, taking medicine as a poison. So please make sure whatever you learn, make sure you put into practice. Also make sure year by year, day by day, you have a happy life, happier life, better life. Your way of thinking is much better. If you have this kind of experience, that means you are Dharma direction is going into the right direction. If you don't have this kind of, better experience, better understanding, better life, happier life, that means your practice of Dharma, the Dharma direction is totally going into the wrong direction. Therefore, as a Buddhist, all the practices, all the knowledge, we must put into practice. We must apply every day in order to reduce all the negative thoughts, in order to increase all the happiness. If you have this kind of experience, that means you got the main point, you got the point to study, practice. Among the study about interdependence or dependent arising is very important. In order to realize emptiness, you must have the better or the perfect understanding of dependent arising, interdependent, dependent on something. If you have a good understanding of interdependence or dependent arising, for you, it is a lot more easy to understand emptiness. When you have a good understanding of emptiness, then for you, very easy to recognize ignorance is mistaken mind. Also for you, very easy to understand all the afflictive emotions are arises by ignorance. Therefore, study about dependent arising is very important. Among the logic for understanding emptiness, the dependent arising logic is we call, king of the logics. King of the logics. So therefore, we have been studying interdependence or dependent arising based on the Rice Seedling Sutra. So every day we must realize we have 4 mistaken minds. Things are impure. We perceive everything as a pure. Due to that reason, that we have a lot of attachment, desire. When we have strong attachment, desire, when we don't get what we need, then we have a sense of hatred, sense of anger. Second, something is totally suffering, totally unpleasant. We consider those are totally pleasant and happiness. Third, another mistake in mind, all phenomena not exist slably, exists, depend on something. For us, everything exists. For us, everything exists as a independent. The fourth one, all the conditioned phenomena are impermanent, changing momentarily. For us, everything perceived appear as a permanent. Also we believe, also we clinging on it, things are permanent. Therefore, generally we have 4 very mistaken minds. Every day we must realize, yes, things are impermanent. For me, appear as a permanent. I am mistaking about the conditioned phenomena. All phenomena be selflessness, but for me, exist as a self, from object side. All the contaminated phenomena are impure. For me, perceive appear as a very pure. I'm mistaken. Therefore, we have 4 mistaken minds. Due to that reason, we have a lot of misunderstanding about the phenomena. In order to overcome from the 4 mistaken minds, so we need to realize emptiness. In order to realize emptiness, we need to know the dependent arising, dependently existence. Therefore, we have a class about dependent arising. So we have been studying quite few classes. So as a repetition. So there are 2 bodhisattvas, Maitreya Buddha and who? Maitreya Buddha and who? Shariputra. Right? Yeah, that means this. Mainly they ask, Shariputra asked question to whom? Maitreya Buddha. So Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Maitreya, they reply, what dependent arising is in the statement made by the Bhagavan. Right? Then the answered by Maitreya Buddha. They said, what is the Dharma? What is the dependent arising? Right? So do you remember the first 3 sentences? First 3 sentences. See Dharma, see the Buddha. Right. Then the next one, dependent arising mean there's something. Okay, something arises because something else already exists. First sentence, very important, right? Something arises because something else already exists. Second sentence, something is born because something else was already born. Third, that is to say, ignorant causes formations. Right? That means, look at the beginning, Buddha said he made 3 important statements. Statement number, something arises because something else already exists. Right? That means there are causes and conditions. Therefore, there something is arising. Is rejected mainly notion of the creator. There's not really creator. There's not really God who who creates everything. Mainly everything arises based on causes and condition. The second statement, something is born because something else was already born. Yes, there was a causal condition. Therefore, things are arising from whom? From causes and condition. Second, the causes and conditions are impermanent. Therefore, the productions are impermanent. That means permanent causes condition. There is no permanent causes condition. Permanent causes condition cannot produce anything. Right? The third one, that is to say, ignorant causes formation. That means there's a cause, therefore there's an effect. The cause is impermanent, the effect is impermanent. It doesn't mean one cause can produce everything. Right? Particular causes produce particular things. For example, ignorance, sees arise formation. Then what is Dharma? Do you remember what is Dharma? Yeah, the Dharma is the eightfold part of Noble One. Right? That means once you understand things are arising, right? Things are arising through cause and condition. Second, what? You need to practice the impermanent. You need to practice the interdependence. You need to practice the emptiness based on what? Eightfold path of Noble One. So what are the eightfold path? Right view, right view, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentrations. Make sure you must memorize these 8 numbers. Then how does one, so this means when you realize emptiness based on knowing the interdependence, then you have the Dharma, right? The Dharma you must practice through the eightfold paths. Then how does one see dependent arising? How does one see dependent arising? Answer: on this point, the Bhagavan said, one who sees dependent arising as a content without life force, devoid of life force, true, unmistaken, unborn, nor arising, nor created, uncompounded, undistracted, imperceptible, tranquility, fearless, unshaken, unmoved. Right? Look at this. Means now how, for example, dependent arising is not emptiness. Dependent arising include into the conventional truth, not the ultimate truth. Okay, make sure dependent arising include into which truth? Conventional truth, not the ultimate truth. But in order to realize ultimate truth, you need to rely on conventional truth, which is interdependence. Through knowing the interdependence, knowing the emptiness through knowing interdependence, then finally you know the emptiness. So when you fully understand emptiness, that means actually there are no coming, no going, no ceasing, right? That means totally, free from all the concept, the mistaken concept. This is mainly, how we can see dependent arising. Next one, why is it called dependent arising? Right? Yeah. It is called and condition, not non-causal and non-condition. Right? So why it is called dependent arising? In Tibetan we have 2 words. Ten, del. Ten mean dependent. Del mean connected or connection. Ten del. Or then here mainly say, make sure we have 2 words. Then del, then dependent. Del mean connection, connected each other. Then del. Second, tenjung. Tenjung is actually then again dependent. Jung mean arise. Jung mean arise. Arise. That means whatever arise on dependent on something. It is called dependent arising because it is causal and conditional. Right? So look at something arise depend on 2 things. Okay? Something, whatever. For example, when you feel happy, the happiness arise depend on 2 things. What are the 2 things? Causal Cause and condition. Cause and condition, okay? Here maybe somebody has a, confusion. What's the differences between cause and condition? In Tibetan language, we have a very, particular words. Cause we call nyerlen, substantial cause, okay? Substantial cause, nyerlen. Conditional, lenji in a condition. For example, when we need to grow rice sprout, what we need? We need rice seeds. Rice, right? The rice is actually cause to a rice sprout. Should not say, in order to grow sprout, we don't need, not necessarily to have rice. Barley, bean, anything can produce sprout. So therefore, in order to have a rice sprout, we need rice. The rice is cause. Condition? Yeah, soil, water, heat. There's many. We have mainly, 6 conditions, right? 4 elements. Then, and space, time. 6 conditions. So when you think about, something arising from something, you need to think 2 ways. You need to think 2, two things, which is causes and condition. If you have only the cause, no condition, the cause cannot produce anything. If you have all the condition, if you don't have the particular cause, you cannot produce the particular things. That's why dependent on 2 things, which is cause and condition, not non-cause and conditional. In this connection, the Bhagavan consistently taught the characteristic of dependent arising as follows. Result come from their own specific condition, right? Result come from where? Their own specific condition. Specific, right? That's what, therefore, as a Buddhist, we really wish to have a, lasting, everlasting happiness. We wish to reduce, suffering. The reducing suffering must come from particular, specific cause and condition. The happiness we wish to achieve also must come from specific causes and condition. Therefore, we must know, what are the particular causes and condition of happiness. What are the particular causes and condition of suffering? Therefore, study is very important. Then, whether Tathagata appear or not, this word is very important. Whether Tathagata appear or not, this true nature of things will remain. It is the true nature, right? That means many people think, emptiness actually, created by Buddha. No. Emptiness is there. The 4 noble truths are there. Impermanence are there. The law of causalities are there. So due to Buddha, study, practice, reflection, or due to Buddha effort, then Buddha realized emptiness, impermanence, the law of causality. Nothing really created by Buddha. That's why you look at whether Tathagata appear or not, this true nature of things will remain, which is emptiness. Okay? Emptiness is always there because this is the true nature. True nature. Something is the true nature is always remain. Nobody can change. Right? Cannot change. Permanent phenomena, nobody can change as a impermanent. Impermanent phenomena, nobody can change as a permanent. Impermanent always remain permanent. Impermanent always remain impermanent. Permanent remains permanent. Therefore, look at, will remain. It is the true nature, the constancy of the Dharma, the immutability of Dharma, consistent with the dependent arising, suchness, unmistaking, suchness, unchanging, suchness, actually truth, mistake, unmistaking and unarising, is mainly the characteristic of emptiness. Emptiness. So look at, sometimes, is an unarising. For example, no coming, no going. So people have a confusion. What does mean no coming? Yeah, somebody is coming, somebody going, somebody arising, somebody, decline, right? We can see it like that. So in order to know that, I think some of you have a, knowledge about the Western philosopher Socrates, right? So he said, you cannot step twice on the running water, steam. You cannot step twice. Can you? Because you step one, second time when you step, the water has gone. There's a new water come, right? For example, if you shot an arrow or the bullet, look at the bullet come from like a gun. Say there's been first moment, there's second moment, third moment. There's so many moments. The first moment bullet is not reaching to the second moment. The bullet which is reached to the second, moment, the first moment has gone. The first moment just, let's say, change within the first moment. The second moment is a new. Third moment is a new. Actually, not really something is, coming without changing, going without changing. For example, when you look at the, like a river, you can see the river is so long. When you look very closely, there's not really long. So billions of atoms, come together. We can see it's so long. That's why, nothing really is going from here to there. But the continuum is always there. Continuum. But individually, everything is, arise, then disappear moment there. Arise, disappear. Arise, disappear. So therefore, we can learn more later. The next one, moreover, dependent arising emergence from the two principles. From what two principles? From a causal relation and the condition relation. Right? Dependent means dependent arise. Only dependent arise has mainly there's a two thing which is the depend on, which is causes and condition. Furthermore, it should be seen as a two falls, outer and inner. Right? That means all phenomena, permanent, impermanent, all phenomena, dependent. Permanent phenomena, we cannot say dependently arise. We must say all permanent phenomena exist dependently. Okay? Exist dependently. Impermanent phenomena not exist independently, also arise dependently. Right? That means all phenomena are, we can say, interdependent phenomena. Dependent phenomena. The dependent phenomena we can see as a twofold. What are they? Outer and inner. That means dependent arising you can see as a twofolds, two parts, in twofold, two types. Inner independent arising and outer dependent arising. What is the causal relation in outer dependent arising? It is as the follows. From a seed, comes a sprout. Then from a sprout, a leaf. From a leaf, stem. From the stem, pedicle. Pedicle or pedicel? You are English speaker, huh? I am not. Pedicel. Really? Can you check in your phone? Pedicella. Where's my pedicella? Okay, pedicel. Okay, pedicel or pedicle. Pedicel shall look like. From the pedicel. Oh, you are correct. Pedicel. Yeah. Pedicel. Yeah, anyway, pedicel. Good. You are correct. Pedicel. Then, next one. Okay, pistil. Then a spirit from the pistil flower. And flowers comes fruits. Now we are studying about the external, the outer, dependent arising based on the fruits. That means fruits come from where? Flower. Flower come from where? Pistil. Pistil come from where? Pedicel. Pedicel come from stem. Stem come from leaves. Leaves come from sprout. Sprout come from seeds. Seed. Right. Seeds come from seeds. Egg come from egg. We can say, suddenly, seed come from where? If I say seeds come from seed, is contradiction. Seeds come from the seed. Seeds come from the seed.
The seed.
The seed. Egg come from the egg.
So that egg lah.
Yeah. Next one, in the process, the seeds do not. This is very important. Now we will learn, right? From the seeds, slowly come, finally produce the fruits. In the process, the seeds do not think I form the sprout, nor does the sprout think I am formed by the seeds. Right? They don't have any, like a mind, because external phenomena. They don't have any this kind of motivation things. Likewise, the flower does not think I form the fruit, nor does the fruit thinks I am formed by the flower. Yet, if there is the seeds, the sprout will take form and arise, and so on until the final yield. Likewise, if there is a flower, the fruit will take form and arise. Thus is the causal relation on outer dependent arising to be seen. Right? So that means when you study the best on the fruit and flowers, that's why you really need a good understanding. There's a seed, there's a sprout, there's a leaf, there's a stem, there's a so and so finally there's a fruit. Not only that, now you have to think about the other condition. For example, today the weather is so cool because there was a raining. There was a raining because there was a clouds. Why there was a clouds? There's a lot of weather changing. Right? Then when you think this way, what you can learn? That means when sometimes we have a so hot weather, when you know the hot weather arises, those conditions, so you cannot change all the conditions, right? You cannot. That's why when you feel so hot, then you should think, I cannot change the weather. I try to happy myself, right? When the weather becomes so cool, so cold, also you must know weather is cold due to lot of conditions. I cannot change. It's out of my control. I try to be happy myself. Right? This is why many people, when the weather is so hot, people make a lot of complaint. People are so cold, complain. We always make complaint, right? And weather cold, we should have a hot. Or weather hot will come, again complain. Yes, it's very interesting, right? Therefore, we must realize the truth. We must realize everything, dependent arising. Should not complain. Think like this. Someday we have a raining, we complain. Then we have water problem, again complain. Making complaint, right? That's why we must learn, the outer independent arising. So, next one, how? So, how is the conditional relation in outer dependent arising to be seen? As due to the coming together for 6 elements, right? Due to what are the 6 elements? Very important, right? Number 1, earth. Number 2, water. 3, fire. 4, wind. 5, space. No, we never use the sky, we say space. Then 6, time. Time. So, the 4 elements, the four elements, all the, contract, for example, the hard things formed by 4 elements. 4 elements. All the external phenomena form based on the 6 elements. Okay, 6 elements. Now we learn little bit one by one. Namely, conditional dependent arising into sense is due to the coming together of elements of the earth, water, fire, wind, space, and seasons or time. In Tibetan language say time, right? No seasons. The earth elements function as a support for the seeds, right? Seeds. Say kind of sabban temperature. Now, when we put the seeds, put where? Put on the earth. The earth support for the seeds. The water elements moistens the seeds. The fire elements ripens the seeds. The wind elements open the seeds. The space elements performs the function of not obstructing a space. For example, there's a earth, there's a seeds, water, a fire. If there's no space, you cannot grow anything. You cannot move. That's why, the space is very important. Space is very important. The next one, the wind element, the seeds. And the season transform the seeds. The time or season transform the seeds. Without this condition,
How do you explain season represent time?
No. In Tibetan dialect say time. But here say season, right? For example, what we call summer, what we call autumn. Because, the changing, right? The changing. Due to the changing, we could just name summer and autumn and winter.
But I thought season you talk about spring, summer, autumn, winter.
Yeah, also not only the morning season, evening season, season of sprout, season of fruits. Every condition phenomena has a different season and different times. The next one, without these conditions, a sprout cannot form from the seeds. But when the outer elements of earth is not deficient, and likewise water, fire, wind, space, and season are not deficient, then from the coming together of all these factors, the sprout form, and the seed is the seedlings. This is mainly, the external, outer interdependence. Now we just move the inner dependence directly, because we most of know. The next page, number 100. Okay, page number 100.
Can you see the stanza 1.14?
I have only one copy. No, I don't have number. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so now just everybody read. Thus is the causal relation in the interdependent eras to be seen. If you using this page, this copy is a page number 100. If you are using that copy, what's the number? 150.
150.
Okay. So, before this sentence, okay, you just, I think, it's a confusion for me. So here one sentence particular mentioned here, right? Existence of ignorance of until final existence, death and compound. Okay, I just use the sentence. There's some. Yeah. I'm informed by the condition. Here once I thought I should explain one sentence somewhere. I will checking. Is many times is mentioned, when the seed ceased, then proud arise. Okay, this is very important. Also, all the the Madhyamaka text mention when the cause cease, then the result arise. When the seed cease, then sprout arise. Okay. This is a bit difficult to understand, as a generally, but most of you have a good understanding about how things arise. Just think about first moment of the cup, second moment of the cup, right? First moment you saw one cup, second moment also you saw similar cup. The first moment cup, second moment cup are cause and effect, right? Cause and effect. The first moment cup is the cause of what? Second moment of the cup. The second moment of the cup is the result of the first moment of the cup. The first moment cup cease, then second moment cup arise. If first moment cup cannot cease, then second moment cup cannot arise. What does mean first moment cease, second moment arise? The meaning. Like, when you say mother produce child, mother give a birth, then you can see mother and children is total two different things. Then you can say something produce something. How first moment cup produce second moment, Say, how? Produce. Huh? Huh? Yes. Okay, let's everybody just think about, first moment cup. Everybody just imagine, the blue color first moment cup. Then second moment cup. Can you differentiate the first moment cup and the second moment cups are different? No, the shape is similar, the color is similar, right? Then, okay, same cup. The cup is made in, let's say, 2000. So we saw the cup after 100 years after. Can you see the cup is different? It's bit change, color change, shape not much, right? That means for us we cannot see because we are talking about the subtle impermanence. The subtle impermanence you cannot see through your eyes. You have to see, you have to realize through your conceptual mind, through your sixth mind, through your study, through your analysis. For example, the first moment cup, second moment cup is same thing. Then you have to say, first, second, third, 100 moment cup, or everything is same. Finally, you can see is not really same, right? Therefore, the first moment cup transform as a what? Second moment cup. Second moment cup transform into third moment cup, right? It's just changed momentarily. Time is changing. That's why first moment cup is not exist at the second moment time. The second moment cup wasn't exist the first moment time, right? Therefore, the seeds cease, then sprout arise. Make sure, if the seeds doesn't have any changes, then it is impossible to arise sprout, right? For example, we make a fire, we put a cup, we put a pot with the water. If there's no any changes in the water, if you put egg or vegetable, the vegetable cannot be cooked, right? If there's a changes, the first water doesn't have any temperature, the second moment have a bit temperature, the slowly temperature raises up, then we are able to cook. Therefore, first moment, second moment must have a different changes. Therefore, many times is mentioned, the seed cease, sprout arise. Okay? It's mainly we're talking about the subtle impermanent. Yeah, next, page number 100. I just read the center here. What is the earth elements in the interdependent arising? That which is a symbol of the form, the solidity of the body is called the earth elements. Right? Now we can see, external there's a earth, the fire. So now our body, mainly our body, formed by what? Formed by earth, inner earth. Form the solidity of the body is called the earth elements. That which, provides us this one, causation of the body is called what? Water elements. That which is digest whatever the body eats, drink, chews, and taste are called the fire elements. Right? That means body actually made of the earth elements. Then there's a water, there's a fire, due to fire or heat, so all the things digest. The next one, that which is perform the function of the body's inhalation and exhalation is called the wind elements. that which is allow the body to have hollow space inside the cell called space elements, right? So now just think about our body, made of 6 elements. What is the earth element? Our body, the bone, flesh, everything is earth elements, right? What is the earth, water elements? Blood, everything is air elements. Then fire. That our body has a heat, whatever we eat is going to digest due to the fire or heat. Then wind. Yeah. Then space. You look at our body has a lot of hole, right? Because all the holes, all the wind go through our body parts. Any parts of body. That means exactly our body has 6 elements. Then, so next one I think is very same. Here, what is the ignorance? Now we go a bit faster way. What is ignorance?
1.29.
Here, what is the ignorance? That which is perceived the same 6 elements to be unity, whole, permanent, constant, statics, preservable, safe, right? A being as a lab of force and creature, so and so. Now we study a little bit how the external phenomena arise based on the 6 elements. But the seeds produce sprout. But the seed doesn't think I'm going to produce sprout. The sprout never think I'm produced by seeds. It just produced because of the dependent arising. That means all the external phenomena arise based on the 6 elements. The same way our body also exists, arise based on the 6 elements. Right? Now most important, because we are studying about the 12 links interdependence, right? 12 links. So what are the 12 links interdependence? Without looking at your text. Number 1, ignorance. Number 2, formation. Number 3, consciousness. Remember, consciousness. We are not talking the generally consciousness. Particular consciousness. Okay, consciousness means there's an ignorance. Due to ignorance, we accumulate karma. The karma we lift, the imprint we live into consciousness, store into consciousness. We are talking about the particular consciousness which is hold, the karmas. Third consciousness. Number 4, name and form. Number 5, 6 sources. Number 7, contact. Number 8, feeling. Number 9, craving. Number 10, grasping. 11, becoming. 12, aging and death. Missing number 1, birth. Finally, aging and death. So do you remember the example of ignorance? Ignorance look like what? Remember the picture. The blind person, ignorance. Blind person walking on support by stick. That means, look at, when you are blind, you cannot see things exactly how things are exist, how really these things exist. Ignorance is look like the blind person walking by stick. Formations look like potter. Potter, right? Potter made what? Pots. The potter made pots different size, big, small, different colors, different shape. All pots are different size, different shape because of the potter. Then the consciousness look like what? Monkey. Monkey. Just not monkey, monkey jumping from tree to tree, branch to branch. Third. Number 4, name and form. Look like sailing boats. There's a two, right? There's a boat, there's person who are sailing the boats. That means the person is look like the consciousness. The rest of the 4 aggregates are look like the boats. Right? That means there's a 5. What are the 5 aggregates? Form, feeling, discrimination, composition factor, consciousness. Look, consciousness. Consciousness look like the sailor who sail the boat. The 4 aggregates are look like the boat, right? Name and form. The next one, 6 sources are. House has 6 windows. 6 windows. For example, 6 windows is symbolic of the 6 sources. Actually, what are the 6 sources? There are 6 senses. What are 6 senses? 5 senses as well as eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, and consciousness. Right? There's 5, actually 6 faculties or 6 minds. 6 mind. 6 window, right? 6 window, symbolic of the 6 kind of, the organs. Right? Okay. 6 source. Then, next one, number 6, right? 6, contract. The contract, remember the picture, the symbolic? Contract. Then 7, feelings. Feelings look like arrow shot into eyes. Very strong feeling. Then 8, craving. Craving. Do you remember craving? The picture? Man or woman, we don't sure. That's the humanity. Let's say simply, person drinking, drink. Is symbolic of what? Craving. Craving, you can see people who are totally indulged for the drinking, they continuously drink, they're never going to end, right? So we have a clinging. Then number 9, grasping. The grasping, remember the picture? Oh, you're looking at the mobile, eh? Very clever. Huh? Monkey? Yeah. That means he already got a fruits, still taking another fruits. Right? So we are clinging for so many things, right? Then number 10, becoming. Chuba sibaya. 10 is the becoming. That means, is ready to, give a birth. So here you must know, ready to give a birth is becoming. What does mean? Does mean craving, clinging. Right? Due to the 2 minds, craving and clinging, then the karma fully repents. And that means we are ready to take a, birth. We are ready to take a, take a life. Right? Then 11, birth. Then 12. Do you remember the picture? A person carry the dead body. Right, dead body. There's a 2 meaning. Generally, there's no really order, death and born. Somebody just born together in death. You can see many, And also, it's very important, the picture or painting. person carry the dead body. If I ask you to carry, the dead body for whole life, are you happy? No happy, right? Because the body is very ugly, smelly, scary. That means we have been carrying the dead body since we born, which is this dukkha. Okay, dukkha. You must know, I always carry the dead body. If you carry dead body, what happens? You really have to be careful. Wash every day, clean every day. Otherwise, the dead body becomes very smelly. Right? If you don't take care, the dead body becomes very ugly. Every day you need to clean, put makeup, things. The dead body looks nice. Right? Nice. Right? That's very important. So that means we carry the dead body all the time. But we don't realize I'm carrying the dead body, the scary, the smelly things. Okay, the finally, so before I explain the ignorance, so right now we just learn the 12 interdependence in order. Right? This is order of how Buddha taught. Okay, how Buddha taught. It is not the really order of how, it's not the order of cause and effect, how Buddha taught. So now we study, actual the causal and effect sequences. First, ignorance. Second, craving, clinging. Then karma. Generally, we can say, let's say if we really go into order, ignorance. Due to ignorance, we accumulate merit. After accumulate merit, the merit, accumulate merit or accumulate negative karma, whatever, all the karma we store into where? On the consciousness. Right? Consciousness. That means within this lifetime, the ignorance was in the previous life. Then karma was in the previous life. Right? Then the consciousness of two parts. The consciousness of two parts. One in the past lifetime, which is the karma store one of the consciousness. The second part of consciousness within this lifetime. Okay? Consciousness. Then consciousness, then name and form. The next one, after name and form, then you have a sources. Then you have a contract. Then you have a feeling, right? Then let's say, the finally, we are almost moment of the death. The moment of the death. So moment of the death, first the craving, then clinging. Third, the karma fully repent, the becoming. Then we death, then we take a rebirth, we take another life. Another life. That means there's two orders. One is the order of how Buddha taught. Second order is how actually the 12 interdependent arising, become cause and conditions. Ignorance. Okay. Now we study about little bit ignorance. Here, what is the ignorance, right? Okay, which is perceive this same 6 elements to be what? Unitary. Make sure the meaning of unitary. Chikpu, right? Unitary. Therefore, let's say, this moment everybody got very angry. Everybody got very angry towards someone. When we get, angry towards someone, right? Then when we say, you are very bad person, you did something wrong, we pointed to somewhere, right? When we pointed to whom? Their body, The mind or the person? We don't know. We just you did, right? When we pointing the finger towards someone, we are really looking something there, which is I can be angry, which is I can have a attachment. That means there's something we can perceive. Something is a unity, right? Do you remember that selflessness? Because last time when we have a class from Geshe Lobsang, so he explained selflessness, right? Empty of what? Permanent, unitary, independent, lack of independent, lack of unitary, lack of permanent. That means nothing exists as a unitary because everything arises as a dependent, exists dependently. The second one, what? Whole, right? Whole. Then third one, permanent. The fourth one, temporary, constant. The next one, static. Next one, pleasurable. Next one, self. Next one, being. Next one, creatures. Next one, soul. Right? Shabud. Next one, man. Next one, so yes, so the kibuda, chere, shabuda, kangada, dagijawa, nishabana, maribao. So we have all this kind of misunderstanding. Something not unitary we perceive as a unitary. Nothing as a whole mean. Nothing as a whole mean. For example, when we think about a cup, when we think about the person, we have been talking. Oh, I met this person. I know this person. I know very well this person, right? Actually, if you really think very precisely, are you talking about the person body, person mind, or person speech, or without them you are talking about something particular, something there? What? Right? We just keep talking about something, right? Something, he or she. But when we notice body is not the person, the mind is not the person, speech is not the person. That means where is the person? That means there's not really something totally is a whole, as a something we can particularly say, this is this. So all the misunderstanding on this we call ignorance. Then the presence of the such ignorance bring desire, aversion, and delusion towards the object. Right? Due to the ignorance, we have a what? We have a desire. We have a aversion. We have a delusion. Desire towards, the pleasant thing, good thing. Aversion about the bad things. The delusion for everything. Right? This is what towards object. Such as desire, aversion, and delusion towards the object are the formation. That's why if we have a delusion, we have a desire, we have a aversion. Due to that, we have a formation. That means if you want to stop the formation, you have to stop what? Ignorance. You wish to cease a formation, you must cease the ignorance. Ignorance can be ceased when you realize emptiness. Ignorance can be ceased if you see all this conception are totally mistaken. Object are the formation. Formation. Page number 101. 102. Formation caused by ignorance, that which is distinguished between individual object as a consciousness and the four appropriate aggregates that emerge in the conjunction with the name and form. Right? So this way, so we must study one by one what does mean ignorance, what does mean formation, what does mean name and form. So there's a quite lot of sentence about ignorance. So today I think we just stop here. So after I came back from India, so we will have 4 classes about the this text. Then we will going to finish the Rice Seedling Sutra in August. So we have a little time. So in the last few time I explained you how to do meditation. Everybody you remember how to do meditation. So today we just make a reflection about first the external outer interdependence based on seed and sprout. Okay, just think about how finally the fruits arise from seeds. How to arise, how to seize the fruits. Okay, now we everybody realized how actually the fruits, any types of fruits, mainly arise from the seeds. Now just make a reflection how the fruit can be seized. Go all the way to the seeds. Okay, now we realize, the fruit can be seized if the flower seized. The flower can be seized, the sprout seed. The sprout can be seized if the seed seized. If there are no seed, then there are no fruits. Now we make a reflection about the internal interdependence. First, how arise? Ignorance arise, formation. Formation arise, consciousness. Consciousness arise, name and form. Name and form arise, sources. Sources arise, contact. Contact arise, feeling. Feeling arise, craving. Craving arise, clinging. Clinging arise, becoming. Becoming arise, birth. Birth arise, aging and death. We have a aging, we have a death, because we have a birth. We have a birth because we had a becoming. The becoming arise, clinging arise, craving arise, feeling arise, contract arise, sources arise, name and form arise, consciousness arise, formation arise, ignorance. Finally, ignorance arise, everything. How we can cease? Aging and death can be ceased if we cease birth. Birth can be ceased if we cease becoming. Becoming can be ceased if we cease clinging. Clinging can be ceased if we cease craving. Craving can be ceased, feeling cease. Feeling can be ceased, contact cease. Contact can be ceased, name and form, sources cease. Sources can be seized if we cease contract. Contract can be seized if we cease name and form. Name and form can be seized if we cease consciousness. Consciousness can be seized if the formation of karma can be seized. Karma can be seized if ignorance is. Ignorance can be seized if we realize emptiness. We can realize emptiness if we can realize dependent arising. There's a three meanings of dependent arising. One, dependent arising on depending on causes and condition. Second, dependent on parts and whole. The last, dependent on name and form. Okay, so today we can stop here our class. So, I request you at the beginning, so please, study Dharma as well as practice Dharma. Try to be happier person. Try to be better person. And we do the dedication prayers.